most important lesson that Lincoln taught me is what I call holding the line when it really matters. Many of us know Abraham Lincoln as the 16th president, the man that led the United States through the Civil War, the man that ended slavery and redefined America to align it with its fundamental founding promise. But what we don't know about Lincoln is that when it really counted, he absolutely refused to cave. Toward the end of the Civil War, in August of 1864, the Union armies were stalled. They couldn't make any inroads against the Confederate armies, and it looked like Lincoln would, in all likelihood, lose the presidential election, his second election in 1864. As the casualty counts mounted, as the political pressure against him grew, Lincoln came very, very close to suing for a negotiated peace with Confederate leaders on their terms. He even went so far as to draft a letter to a powerful politician that he knew would get to the head of the Confederacy that said, if Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, wants to talk to me about peace without any mention of slavery, let him try me. Frederick Douglass, another figure in my book, the abolitionist, came to visit him to talk about a different subject altogether. And Lincoln showed him the letter and said, what do you think, Mr. Douglass? What should I do? Well, we can imagine, knowing Frederick Douglass was the nation's leading abolitionist, what he said. He said, Mr. Lincoln, you cannot renege on your promise to end slavery at the end of the war. It would be perceived as a complete giving up of all the principles you have enunciated so far. It would do you terrible harm. And Lincoln folded up the letter and put it back in his desk drawer where it was found unsent after he died. So with all the pressures on him, when it came down to a single act and one moment, Lincoln held the line. What do we need to hold the line on? How do we find our inner muscles of resilience and determination? Lincoln taught me a great deal about that. And I used that in my own life when I was fighting cancer, when I was struggling to finish this book, when I was working my way through a great existential crisis about my own life. So discover the power from Lincoln of holding the line when it really matters